The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are once again for another Friday gathered around the breakfast table or wherever you be hanging out. You could be at work right now. We thank you so much for being along with us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. I'm going to be aboard with you for a whole full hour. Now, we meet each Friday at this time, and we get together, have a little coffee, have a little fun, and talk conversation. And speaking of conversation, you're going to be included in the equation, because all you have to do is have your computer on and have your keyboard running, tickle those keyboards and say whatever you have to say. I'll see you right there on the big screen, and I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about. Free exchange of ideas and of opinions, because we have a lot of them. I have them, you have them, and we express them right here each week. We're so glad to have you aboard with us, and we've got a good show for you as always. And for those of you who have been around with us for a long time, of course, I never get enough to thank you enough for being with us each week. And of course, I want to thank all of the people who are with us, maybe for the very first time on this show. Now, the show operates like this. As the host of the show, I am in what they call the prep mode. So in other words, I am getting started right now. But during the time that I'm prepping and getting things righty right now, I want you to use your keyboard, as I said earlier, because you can indulge in conversation, and you can do that by typing in whatever you want to type. Now, if there's a specific topic that you want to talk about, please feel free, because I am going to start things going. Maybe I'll throw out a topic that we could start off with, and then the show rolls on from there. So anytime at all. It doesn't have to be later. It could be right now, even if it's just to say hello. We want to hear from you. Now, if you happen to be at work, maybe you're on your coffee hour, your coffee break, all right? So what I want you to do right now is take your coffee break and stay with us, all right? Now, I know usually what you like to do during the week is while you're having your coffee break, you schmooze and you get together with your coworkers and you laugh it up for about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And then you go back to your desk. Well, it's Friday. So what I want you to do is stay with us. Spend the time with us with your coffee in hand. And whenever that time is up, whatever the time is allotted to you, when it's all over, you'll be right at your desk anyway, and you can go back to work. No one has to tell you, okay, it's over. You can go back to work. You'll be right there, and then you can watch the show. And of course, watch us at the same time and work at the same time. That's what they call multitasking. So got all of that. And you guys who are hanging out the water cooler, get away from there. Don't talk about what happened last night. Talk about that later. Join us here for the coffee hour. Brian Camp is going to be here with us. He's got the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We want you to stick around for that. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. And as a matter of fact, Brian told us he's going to be here for the entire show. So we'll introduce him in just a few minutes. Also, we've got movies. Now, each week, I go to Turner Classic Movies. I go into their vault and find out what they've got for this week. They are my picks of the week for your weekend. Now, I know what you do on the weekends is what you do on the weekends, right? You do whatever you have to do on the weekends, right? But you may want to catch up on some movies, right? So I have that for you. I have the movies that I pick for the week, for your weekend, and that's coming up. And I think you'll like them. They're all classics. They're all from Turner Classic Movies. So we got a lot of things to do today, and we want you to join us. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So, with that being said, let's do what we normally do, raise our cups, because this is the coffee hour. And what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So, excuse me while I shoot up. It's delicious. That's great. I'm gonna have a little more. I have a little more of that just a little later on. I want to thank you guys for being along. We want to say hello and good morning to Warren Dantzler. He's watching us on Facebook this morning, and he says good morning. And he's got cloudy skies where he lives in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it's going to go up to 70 degrees today. It's presently 54, so that's what we got right now. Brian, you're with us once again. It's here we are, and I see you are heavily into what's happening in March.
Oh my goodness. My. It doesn't get any exciting. It doesn't get any better than this. This is the time of the year for this 2 to 3 week period of March Madness. It's electrifying. If you've been following what's been happening yesterday on day one, oh my goodness. Upsets. Schools that you don't even heard of are winning, are knocking off well-known colleges. It is crazy. It is bedlam out here in this here college world of the Final Four. Doesn't get any better than this.
And I know you're going to be later on. You're going to be reporting on some of the March Madness that you're talking about.
Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you got sports coming up, and if also you're going to talk about, give us some women's. This is Women's History Month too.
Yes.
You got something coming on for that. You're going to be doing something on that. So Absolutely. It is National Women's History Month, and so we're going to be talking about that. And also, it's Irish American Heritage Month. Now, we just had the holiday parade. They call it a holiday, but it was a one-day parade, the St. Patrick's Day parade, and it's nothing like a New York St. Patrick's Day parade. That went on this week, but just because the parade is over, that don't mean the celebration is over, because it's still Irish American Heritage Month. And of course, we want to give homage to the Red Cross, because it's Red Cross Month as well. This has been around for so many years, and we all depend on it. Even one of the big wars, the big one, the WW2.
Archie Bunker.
And even before that, World War I. But WW2, the big one. And we depended on the Red Cross for all of those years. And I know a lot of people help finance that organization because it's public funding. And you can make your contributions if you like. Just go online and do that. So that's what we got going. So how's the weather in Charlotte, North Carolina, should I ask?
It's 58 degrees right now, going up to 71. And tomorrow we're gonna hit the 80s. We're gonna be like 83, 84, 85 degrees tomorrow. So it's warming up.
Wow. Okay, so the weather is kind of getting on the rise over here. I understand, like in the middle of next week or even tomorrow, supposedly temperatures. But we're going to talk about my local weather here in New York. I also want to add it's National HIV/AIDS Awareness Month, or Awareness Day, I should say. So you just keep that in mind. That situation is not over. People are still struggling with that, but it gets better. It's not anything that's curable, but it's treatable. And so that's what we acknowledge too. Also, you can't make this up. If anyone inclined, do you want to propose to anyone? Because it's National Proposal Day. So, Brian, this doesn't,
doesn't apply. No, doesn't apply to me.
For anyone else who has it in mind, this is the day for it. This doesn't have to be the actual day for it. I mean, this is something that's just being drawing attention to. But you could have proposed at any time. But if you're going to do it, this would be the day, because then when your anniversary comes around, you say, hey, this is the day that I propose to you. Okay. And Brian,
Yeah.
speaking of your weather, it's the first day of spring today.
Oh, okay. It's only fitting. Yeah. It's officially a spring today, and I don't know where elsewhere it might be a little warmer or still a little bit chilly, but officially on this day in our nation, it is spring. That means that the flowers are going to start blossom. And for you to,
Yeah.
for all you people that have backyards or have gardens, this is the time to start putting down these seeds and your mulch, and to start this here time to start your summer off right, because spring goes right into summer.
That's right. That's right. And I can't wait for that. But you got to get past spring first. But I'm looking forward to the summer and looking forward to all the good things that are going to be taking place. There's going to be a lot of, I can imagine where you live, there's going to be a lot of people cooking in their backyards and just enjoying the summer fun. I know you can't wait around for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, anyway, in case any of you have just walked in here, better late than never. It's the coffee hour. And I'm with Brian Camp here, and we've got a lot of things to talk about. And just in case any of you want to conversate with us, feel free at any time. Just type it in there on your keyboard, on your computer, on your telephone, or even your tablet, and I will see you right there on the big screen. And of course, we'll acknowledge you. Can you see anyone on Facebook? Are you?
I saw. Yeah. Say good morning. Warren says good morning.
Oh,
How you doing,
okay.
Warren? Football as well. He got 54 degrees and a little cloudy, and it's
Yeah,
going to 70, which we're like 90 minutes away from one another. So
yeah,
he's pretty good weather today as well.
yeah. Well, see, at least you guys got that pre-spring. I would say pre-spring weather, that pre-spring feeling. Even though temperatures, you never know, it may drop again. You never know. Here in New York, it's unpredictable, which is why people should never shed their clothing early. They did that a couple of weeks ago when we had that warm weather. People were out there in their sleeves, but got to take it easy with the weather. It's unpredictable, and it's you catch a cold very easily that way. So take it easy, dress
Yeah.
accordingly. Anyway, so we got all of that together. You got any other things going on along with your sports, the Women's Day? Anything that you're going to add to that as well?
Yeah, since we just passed last week, we had the St. Patrick's Day parade in the New York metropolitan area.
Yeah,
That's a thing. We're going to
yeah,
continue that. We're going to honor two women in sports and not in sports. We're going to talk about their Irish heritage, and we're going to honor them today as well.
Mhm. Do you have a lot of celebrations where you are as far as St. Patrick's go?
No, not really. At the school, we had everybody wore green.
Mhm.
I didn't wear green. I wasn't notified to wear green, but they said, "Well, do we have to notify you? It's St. Patrick's Day." True point. I just didn't wear green. In fact, I wore blue, powder blue.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know last week, even though St. Patrick's Day was Tuesday, they were celebrating last weekend. Last Saturday, they started celebrating. In my neighborhood, there's a couple of Irish pubs around, right?
Oh
And
boy, yeah.
one across the street from where I live. And I see all of these people walk, in rows walking, and they're wearing their green. And I said, okay, they're celebrating early, which kind of made sense. It was the weekend. And because everyone don't get a chance to actually do the hard celebrating in the middle of the week, because they have to work the following day. Some don't care. Some will celebrate anyway. But it
Oh,
didn't.
yeah. Irish pubs are all over, especially in New York City. I could imagine what the pubs are like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, singing "Old Danny Boy" and and just dancing and drinking and having beer and hugging you. You know, one thing about when I hug you, my teacher is an Irishman, my fifth grade teacher. When he hugs you hard, especially on St. Patrick's Day. It's
uh-huh,
like in a bear hug, and
uh-huh.
So that's their day. It's always a good day in the Irish community when they celebrate St. Patrick's because they express their love to one another. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know how many of the other major cities, and maybe like in Los Angeles and Chicago and places like that, if they have parades over there. I never really heard. I'm pretty sure they do. But I do know here in New York, it's a big deal. It's a total big deal. Now, St. Patrick's Day, I didn't go to the parade. I didn't see it. But I was in the area and I've seen people with their instruments getting ready to set up and go on their route and because they have to prep before they do the parade, so they have to stand in line and they are they have to know where to go, where their spot is, where they I guess their position in line, So,
yeah,
but there's nothing like the parade. What?
I imagine like the people in Boston, Massachusetts, fun,
Yeah,
Boston is the city of Boston is very big with the Irish community over there.
yeah,
Once he was watching a lot of Leprechaun movies, they had them on there, so
yeah.
yeah.
Leprechaun. I never heard of leprechaun movies. Isn't it kind of exploitive leprechaun movie?
Well, I mean, maybe I thought about buying a box of Lucky Charms, but
I was going to mention it. See, you blew my thunder. I was going to say, did you have your Lucky Charms today, my lad, laddie? Yeah, I remember as a kid, I used to eat those things, Lucky Charms, uh, and they were like the little marshmallow charms,
yeah,
like clovers and all of that. You
I
know,
remember as a kid, I used to pick out all the marshmallows and just have milk and just have a marshmallow cereal. Never used to eat the oats part, but I always ate the Lucky Charms marshmallows for sure.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's so many ways to celebrate, but between the St. Patrick's Day parade and the Puerto Rican Day parade, I think those are the two most festive parades here in New York.
New York,
People come out.
you know, well, New York is blessed to have great parades. You're right
Yeah.
about the Irish, the St. Patrick's Day
Hmm.
and the Day Parade, but
Hmm.
I love the Labor Day West Indian Day Parade. It's the most colorful um,
Yeah.
that they have. Um,
Yeah.
that in Brooklyn, they have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you're absolutely right though. They
Yeah.
parades for and everything. They have the Dominican Day Parade.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day. They have it. They have
Hmm.
it. They have it all.
And the West Indian Day Parade is in Brooklyn, so that's why I probably didn't mention this as one of the. But you're right; definitely a festive, colorful parade. You know, but they're in Brooklyn, and the rest of these parades go down Fifth Avenue or go up. No, do they come down Fifth Avenue or go? Oh, they come down Fifth Avenue.
Come down Fifth Avenue. Yes.
Yeah, and so you name it, whatever parade you could think of, we have it here in New York. All
Yeah.
kinds of parades. They're all here. Now, like I said, then one may not be as festive or maybe prestigious as, let's say, St. Patrick's Day or Puerto Rican Day Parade, but they're there and people turn out for them. New Yorkers turn out for all of the parades.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of them because I'm not a parade kind of a guy anymore. Maybe when
Right.
I was a kid, I used to like the parade.
The
And then,
Macy's Parade. They have the Macy's Day Parade. That's for Thanksgiving and the Christmas Day Parade. New York is full festive with parades throughout the city. So they're just wonderful and colorful, exciting, and even
absolutely.
the New York City Marathon that we just had that you just had not too long ago back in November.
Uh-huh.
Even that's fun to watch. It's the competition, even though it's not a parade, but it's a marathon. It has closures in the streets. Well, they all have closures in the streets, but even that's a big thing. So New York is full with entertainment, with parades and marathons as well.
Yeah. Well, look, you know something? That marathon we just had this past Sunday. I don't know anything what happened because I wasn't there. I made sure I stayed home and not get involved in traffic or walking in the areas where it was held. But it's all good. It's all good. If you guys want to have conversation with us, me, Brian, Warren, or all of you guys who are here, please feel free. If you have anything to talk about specifically, other than what we're talking about now, feel free to join in and we'll talk about it. Because if it's important to you, it's important to us. And please feel free to give us your weather forecast if you're going to indulge in conversation. Just doesn't have to be full blown. It could be like an emoji, you know, letting us know, like Warren did, and so we can kind of compare what we have here in New York. All right. Now, New Yorkers, if you're from New York, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it right now. As a matter of fact, we have 46 degrees. That's what we are right now, 46 degrees. That's nothing to sneeze on. That's pretty nice. Got 46 degrees. Today it's going to be partly, I'm sorry, let me go back to where Friday. Today's forecast is going to be mostly sunny this morning, then becoming cloudy during the afternoon. We have a slight chance of rain showers for us, and we'll have a high 58 degrees. Winds will be south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And tonight, if you're going out, you might want to take the umbrella with you. It's going to be cloudy, periods of rain early. We'll have a low 47 degrees. Winds will be west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 90%. So you better take that umbrella just in case. For tomorrow, that's my favorite day of the weekend. Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy. Slight chance of a rain shower. We'll have a high 58. Winds will be north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for Saturday night, party time. Do people party anymore the way things are today? I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be partly cloudy skies during the evening. We'll give way to cloudy skies overnight. We'll have a low 44. Winds will be light and variable. And for your Sabbath day, Saturday is a Sabbath day too, but Sunday is another Sabbath day for Christians. If you're going out to church, you might want to listen to this. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be cloudy skies early. Will becoming partly cloudy late in the day, so you don't have to take the umbrella with you. We'll have a high around 60, and winds will be south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Repeating our current temperature, we have 46 degrees in New York City. And of course, we have sports. Brian Camp right there.
Well, like I said, it is March Madness. It is crazy. I mean, even since the first game that came on Thursday at 12 noon, featured TCU and Ohio State. Ohio State was the favorite. They were the 8th seed, and they got upset. And then you had Wisconsin, who was a heavy favorite, was the 8th seed, lost to High Point. I don't even know where High Point is, but they upset Wisconsin 83-82. The Duke, the number one team in the nation, or the number one seed in the East bracket, they were down by 11 points at halftime. They came back and won, but only by the skin of their teeth. They won by only 6 points. And then we had more upsets. We had VCU beat North Carolina, the Tar Heels. Oh boy! And here in the state, here in North Carolina, they are probably shedding tears. VCU upset North Carolina 82-78. VCU was the 11th seed. North Carolina was the 6th. It was kind of a down year for them. Texas, 11th seed in the West region, beat BYU, who was the 6th seed, 79-71. And then you had Texas A&M, who's the 10th seed, beat St. Mary's in the South region, 63-50. So, I mean, on and on. I'm just going down the list. St. Louis University beat the Georgia Bulldogs, who Georgia was the 8th seed. St. Louis was the 10th seed. The 9th seed. They beat them. And Gonzaga beat, which is the 3rd seed as expected. They won their games. But a lot of these games that these favorites were supposed to win were losing at one time and had halftime. So, this is just day one. And here it is. We didn't even get to the women's bracket yet. They're coming up soon, too. I believe they start sometime tomorrow, I believe. I'm not sure. And then round two, also, they're going to have the Friday games for the men's as well. So March Madness is upon us. It is going to be crazy when I say crazy. So if you have nothing to do, turn back and forth to the movies you want to, or you're going to be given this week. But March Madness is going to take over everything. The National Football League plays a representative for the NFL Players Association has elected former Union Chief Strategy Officer and retired Cleveland Browns offensive lineman J.C. Treader as their next executive director. Now, the Players Association, which is the union, has been searching for a permanent leader since July, when then executive director Lloyd Howard Jr. resigned following ESPN reporting that he had charged a pair of strip club visits to the union. Careful with that. ESPN also reported that he worked part-time for the Carlo Group, a private equity firm that is seeking minority ownership in the NFL franchises, and that the union and the league had struck a confidential agreement to keep arbitrator ruling about possible collusion by the NFL owners from players. In basketball, congratulations for the women, the WNBA. They have reached a verbal agreement. Verbal, they still got to vote on it. After a prolonged labor battle, the WNBA and Women's National Basketball Association players, which is their union as well, reached a verbal agreement on the terms of a new collective bargain early this week, just 51 days before the league's 30th season is set to tip off. Under the new CBA, which is the collective bargain agreement, it was reported that a salary cap will start at $7 million, which is great. This is a great deal. A $7 million salary cap, up from 1.5 in 2025. So they went from 1.5 million to 7 million for a salary cap. With the Supermax starting at 1.4. Was $249,244 in 2025. The average salary will be around $600,000, with the minimum salary surpassing the $300,000. That was back in 2025. A formal term sheet needs to be finalized. An agreement is pending on the ratification of the players and by the WNBA Board of Governors. And we tip our hat to the president and executive board and all the union members for them to have this here. So congratulations to them. Now, in December of 2020, the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the league was taking a fresh look of the idea of expanding 2 more teams in the NBA. Seattle used to have the Seattle Supersonics. So they moved to Oklahoma, where they're now the Oklahoma Thunder. But they're talking about bringing another franchise back to Seattle, and also in Las Vegas. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So you can imagine if they get a basketball team, a pro team, it's going to be really interesting and really have a lot of interesting things. So on this day in sports, we got one more thing, and I'm glad I didn't miss this. When the most important baseball game in their country history was over, and the World Baseball Classic gold medals dangle around their necks, the members of the Venezuela national team took stage at center field at Lone Depot Park and belted every word of glory, al bravo, Pablo. I don't know what that means in Spanish, but I just gave it a try. Anyway, they won the WBC, they sang the anthem. They were shedding tears. They hugged and they cried some more. They had toppled and beat the mighty United States of America. Now, we try not to mix politics with sports, but in this case, it was redemption for the people from Venezuela, because it was not too long ago, the president of this country, the United States, blew up a lot of ships for drug cartel, and their homeland experiences, they lost a lot of people. A lot of people were unnecessarily was killed. Let's keep it like it is. I don't want to get too political about this, but I think it was in their case, it was justice for this moment was being refilled for the people. So they won the WBC. Congratulations to them. And listen, the United States, they didn't take care of business. They did not take care of business, and they lost. And we got to tip our hats to Venezuela. So they are the champions of the World Baseball Classic. This day in sports, March 20th, 1973, Roberto Clemente elected to Major League Baseball Hall of Fame 11 weeks after his death. If you remember, New Year's Eve on 1971, I believe, or 72, he was killed in a plane crash delivering food and clothing in Nicaragua. And that death was really painful, not only to the people in Puerto Rico, but in all of baseball and all of sports. He was beloved. And, that's the only time they would do it for somebody who's a very legendary player. He didn't have to wait for the 5 years, which is mandatory. It took him 11 weeks after his death for them to put him in the Hall of Fame. 1989, Major League Baseball announces Reds manager Pete Rose is under investigation. 1990, LA Lakers retired Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, number 33. 1941, Pat Corrales, Major League Baseball catcher, manager, was born in Los Angeles, California. 1945, Pat Riley, NBA guard, Hall of Fame coach, 6-time champion, and 3 times Coach of the Year, was born in Schenectady, New York. 1958, Ricky Jackson, NFL linebacker, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, 7-time Pro Bowler, was born in Pocahontas, Florida. 1967, Mookie Baylock, NBA guard, was born in Garland, Texas. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is sports for that part of my moment that I have here. As I said, we're going to celebrate Ireland today, Women of the Month. This is Women's Month. And we're going to celebrate also Maureen O'Hara. She was her real name was Fitzsimmons, but she was named Maureen O'Hara. She died in 2015, but she was born in Ireland, August 17th, 1920. And she was an Irish-American actress known for her portrayal of as being a witful woman. She played in some amazing movies, like Miracle on 34th Street. She, her history as a child, she was in the Abbey Theatres in Dublin, Ireland. She went to London Film Studios. I'm doing a shortcut. I don't want to take up too much time, but she was playing in various movies with John Wayne, and in some of his movies, and Alfred Hitchcock. She was a great Irish American, a very known Irish actor. She was one of her favorite movies that to us is favorite is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And she's being honored in various times over her career. She even had a short retirement, came back and to work for RKO in the 1940s, during the John Ford era. Here's some movies: How Green Was My Valley, that was in 1941. The Black Swan, and then The Fallen Sparrow, 1943. But she was again remembered for that, and played the mother Natalie Wood in Miracle of 34th Street. I almost said it again. I almost said 24th Street. I don't know why it's Miracle on 24th Street. It's Miracle on 34th Street. I messed up last night. I'm glad you corrected me. But it's Miracle on 34th Street. She was she, like I said, she played the mother of Natalie Wood, who was the little girl. And I tell you about the John Wayne movies, the Westerns, Lady Godiva, The Quiet Man, and McLintock. That was my favorite John Wayne movies with her. Here's some highlights of her career. Award honors, Academy Award in 2015. It was an honorary award, Academy for Motion Pictures and Arts and Science. She married to Will Price from 1941 to 1953. Then Charles Blair from 1968 to 1978 to his death, and also John H. Brown from 1939 to 1941. So she was married 3 times. After her marriage in 1968, she, to a former U.S. Air Force, General O'Hara, on-screen appearances it would taper off. Then she would fade away into the scene. She made some guest appearances, and her last dance was the movie. The Last Dance was in 2000. She received an honorary award from that, and that's from Maureen O'Hara, who's the leading ladies of Irish women. Now in sports, we have Kathy Taylor's been fighting all her life. She had brothers, and she's recognized as the greatest Irish female athlete. A large part of her childhood, she had to fight for the right to compete. She was a boxer. She boxed in Ireland, and then again the right to compete for the Olympics. She's succeeded against enormous odds and continues to set amazing records. An example, she was born in 1986 in Bray, a coastal town just 12 miles off the south of Dublin. And the Taylor family were poor. As Katie told The Guardian, we wouldn't have a lot of money growing up. We were very, very poor family, living in the roughest areas, but God chose our family and did something with us. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. We all became successful, but nobody would have looked at our family or our house and thought success will come to them. So we congratulate her on her boxing career, but she's known as the greatest Irish female athlete of all time. So we tip our tap to her. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a March Madness time among us and the Women's Month. We have one more segment next week that would probably, I think that ends the last one. And back to you.
Yeah, but there's a lot of games. When I got home last night, I was turning on. I meant to turn on, because usually I turn on TBS because I like to watch some of the comedies that are on there. And then I noticed it wasn't there, and I said, "Oh my God! It's basketball. It's March Madness." So I'm not angry. So I'm sitting there watching those games and stay up as long as I can to watch them, because there were back-to-back games coming on. And they come on late at night too. Some of them come on late at night.
Yeah.
I guess depending on where they are.
Well, they're in different regions, so
yeah.
The West Coast are going to have the late games, of course.
Yeah.
And so they to the affiliate channels. You catch the games on TBS, TNT, True is a True channel.
Yeah.
CBS is the overall main station for these games that was played. So Juan asked an excellent question. Did the Venezuela baseball team get invited to the White House? Oh, gosh. Ooh, no, Warren, I don't think that would be possible. I don't even think the president would even want to do that. That would cause chaos. So, nah.
And even if he did, the guys are going to eat nothing but burgers.
Yeah. But if I was there as a Venezuelan, I would say something in Spanish that he could not understand and laugh. I could be saying anything, but I know
I
that
would say I would say a few things in Spanish and Italian, but they wouldn't be very nice. So I would just simply go,
or or as the Italians would do, give him a hard kiss on his
yeah, on the
cheek,
lips,
on the
on the
lip.
lips. That's
It
the
was,
deadly kiss.
I know it was you, Fredo, that betrayed me. I know it was you. I'm Godfather.
Yeah,
Give him
yeah. See, if you get a kiss on the lips, you're dead.
You're dead.
That's
It's just a matter
that's
of
it.
time.
There's
Yeah.
no turning back. So if an Italian kiss me on my cheek. Don't kiss me on my lips. So
Well,
now
it got,
I have
it
to
got
change my identity.
your hard hug and then a kiss. And then
Yeah,
when he release you like that,
yeah,
just a
yeah.
matter
They grab your head, give
yeah.
you a kiss, and just release you like that. You're
But
dead.
just like Fredo in The Godfather, who betrayed
Yeah,
him. Poor Fredo.
yeah,
Poor
yeah,
Fredo.
yeah. I mean, he Alfredo made some wrong turns, and he says to his brother, "You can't talk to what was the guy's name?
Johnny Green, I think his name is
Yeah,
Mo Green.
yeah, you can't talk to Mo like that." And that's when Michael came in and he said, "What, Brian?"
Don't never go against the family. Ever. No, he said, Fredo, you're my older brother. I love you. But don't ever go against the family.
Ever.
Ever. Can you imagine saying to a sibling?
Yeah. Every time I see that part, I get chills because I said, this guy's gonna kill.
You're
And you know
him.
something, I know, and he did, and then he did finally kill him
But
in
he
the
did say to one of his bodyguards, I don't want nothing to ever happen to my brother while my mother's alive.
yeah.
And then once she died, then Michael clean up house. Went out on a fishing trip, one of the bodyguards, and he cleaned house. Never saw Fredo again.
How do we get from sports to The Godfather?
Every time I watch The Godfather, it brings chills in my body when that happens. But that part, when he's Fredo, my older brother,
Oh God!
don't
Oh, if you
ever
just
go against the family.
ever, ever. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Coffee Hour. I want to say hello to Mary Reed, who's watching us on YouTube today. That's why you don't see her, Brian. She's on
Amen.
YouTube,
Yeah.
but you can still say hi to her if you like. Um, Listen, Judy Pace, a pioneering model and actress known for her work in Cotton Comes to Harlem, Peyton Place, Brian's Song, The Young Lawyers, and numerous films, has died. Pace died in her sleep on March 11th while visiting her family members in Marina del Rey, California. Pace was the first Black female actress to put under a long-term contract for Columbia Pictures in the early 1960s when she began to make her mark as a model. She was 83. British actor John Alfred has been found dead in his jail cell after being convicted of sexually assaulting two teenage girls. A spokesperson for the HM Prison Bureau in Norfolk, which he entered just 2 months ago, confirmed that the passing of the actor in a statement shared with the BBC on Sunday. Alfred stood trial on 2024. In 2024, the actor was accused of purchasing a bottle of vodka for the girls after they had come back to a friend's home from a night out at the pub in 2022. The cause of death was not yet released, and Alfred was 54. Well, Michael B. Jordan has done it. Michael B. Jordan has done it. In one of his most talked about race of the season, The Sinners. The Sinner actor ultimately took home the Best Actor statuette for his dual performances as identical twins, who were Smoke and Stack in Ryan Coogler's acclaimed horror drama as he ascended to the stage and accepted the award, he repeated, "God is good." Willie Nelson remains the hardest working man in country music at 92. At 92 years old, the country music icon is one of the most enduring performances, touring regularly and maintaining a deep connection with his legions of fans. Willie Nelson and Family, the longtime touring band of the music legend, has been performing together in various forms since the early 1970s. Willie Nelson and Family, one of the are on the road again for this month, while announcing April shows in Texas, Alabama, North Carolina, and more. And special guest Drayton Farley will be appearing with them on those dates. Live from London, it's Tina Fey, the iconic Saturday Night Live cast member, is set to lead her bona fides to the launching of a new UK version of the sketch comedy series, as Fey will host the inaugural episode on March 21st. English rock band Wet Leg will serve as the musical guest. Birthdays today: model actress Kathy Ireland is 63, and happy Irish Day to you. Let's see. Actress Holly Hunter is 68. Actress Teresa Russell is 69. Spike Lee is 69. Actor William Hurt, the late William Hurt, would have been 79. Camille Cosby of the wife of Bill Cosby, is 82. Singer Vito Pacone. This goes back to my days. Vito Pacone of the Elegants, who did that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star back in the doo-wop days. Well, he's 85 today. And actor Hal Linden of Barney Miller would have been 95. Fred Rogers, who played Mr. Rogers, would have been 98. Comedian Ray Goulding of Bob and Ray would have been 104. Comedian Rob Reiner would have been 104 as well. Game show host Jack Barry, who hosted Joker's Wild, would have been 108. R&B singer Sister Rosetta Tharpe would have been 111. Ozzie Nelson of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet would have been 120. And Edgar Buchanan of Petticoat Junction would have been 102 and 123 years old. These guys go back a way time. That's it for entertainment. Happy birthday to all of those guys, the ones who are living and the ones who are no longer with us as well. But we still salute you, and because you gave us a wonderful legacy, so we'll always remember your birthday. And if you happen to have a birthday coming along, please let us know. We'd like to broadcast it right here for you, or you can do it yourself as you come in and you type it in and say happy birthday to me, so we say happy birthday to you. You can contact us by email or telephone. The email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's short for Productions. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. And keep all of that information in all of your electronic devices, such as your computer, be it laptop, desktop, your tablet, or your telephone. And if you have all three of those or more, put them in all of them. This way, just in case one is not available, you can fall back on another one. Okay. And you can contact for any reason at all. It doesn't necessarily have to have a birthday. You can have an event that you want us to push for you, or anything at all, or even just to say hi. We read them all. We hear them all. So the email address, once again, is frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod at AOL.com. Telephone number, 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. I've got the movies, guys. I've got the movies for you. I only have one from Turner Classic Movie. Just one. Okay. And this goes back to 1953. It's called Three Sailors and a Girl. It's a black and white comedy. I've seen it 100 times. I like it. So I just figured you might like it too. Check it out. Starring Jane Powell, Gordon McRae, and Gene Nelson. And you can check it out. Turner Classic Movies, Friday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. All right. That's Friday, 6:15 p.m. Eastern. Here's another one for you. This is not Turner Classic, but here's something that I suggested. We already mentioned Michael B. Jordan won the Academy Award for Sinners, right? So I suggest that you watch it. It was released last year, 2025. It's a great movie. You're not going to be disappointed. Am I right about that, Brian, or should they not watch it?
You will not be disappointed. You have to see it. Great acting as he played a dual role in his Academy Award winner.
That's right. Sinners. Now, if you have HBO Max, Hulu, the Roku channel, YouTube channel, Apple TV, Prime, Sling, Fandango, or Google Play, any one of them, you could watch them on there. I checked to see if it was on Netflix, but it's not on Netflix. But you could watch you could watch it if you have any of these that I just mentioned. You could watch it on there. Okay. So that's my thing to you. All right, let me repeat it once again. Here's the Three Sailors and a Girl on Turner Classic Movies with Jane Powell, Gordon McRae, and Gene Nelson. Turner Classic Movies Friday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. And Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. And you could watch that on HBO Max, Hulu, the Roku channel, the YouTube channel, Apple TV, Prime, Sling, Fandango, and Google Play. All right, great movies. I think you'll like it. Brian, we talked about politics and sports. I don't think politics should be there, but it's got to the point in this day and age that's where politics lands. And speaking of politics, the war, as you already know, is still on. We're 21 days into the war right now. 21 days into the war, and no relief in sight. Nothing is happening, even though he may say, "Oh, it's going to be over pretty soon." The excursion. We're into an excursion. Does anybody have a dictionary I could borrow I could pass on to this guy? Excursion, because I don't think he knows what excursion means.
No.
Now, maybe all of us should take that excursion. Maybe that's an invite so we could see how the war operates. That's a frightening thing to say, but if he hadn't said excursion, who knows? Maybe he's looking for incursion. Maybe that's the word he's looking for. Anyway, we're looking forward to that war being over. We don't know what's going to happen. And last night, Brian, you and I talked about Pam Bondi, who's going to be subpoenaed for April 14th. We talked about her. Did you want to talk about either one of those things I just said?
I mean, it's just simple. I mean, Hillary Clinton said it best. Why is she being investigated? Why is she being? Why does she have to testify? I mean, Donald Trump's name is all over this investigation with these files, these Epstein files, thousands and thousands of times. Why can't he just testify? What's going to happen is he's the president of the United States. He could just, even if he's found guilty, he could just pardon himself. But it doesn't make sense. I mean, would they impeach him? Would they be able to get rid of him? No. The only way you get rid of him by the midterms. And then after that, you can get rid of him slowly and just stop his madness. Here it is. I filled up my tank of gas, right? My car. And prices are high. Your 401 is dropping. Your 457K is dropping. But as a Christian, we say, every time you fill up your tank gas, you say, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. I was able to do it." There are a lot of people out there that can't even do that. They put in $10 at a time just to get from one point to another point with only a few dollars they're putting into their gas tank, and it's really sad how this is happening. I'll say this about his supporters right now. Trust me when I say this here. And I do a lot of social media observing. I watch a lot of his supporters are now not on social media because I know they're embarrassed. They have to be feeling it now, but because they don't want to admit that they made a mistake They're staying silent. They're not coming on social media. Um, a narcissist is a person who will not apologize for their actions. I'm still pissed off what he did with that picture, with that video with the apes about the Obamas. I'm still pissed off. But then you got people that turn the other look, turn the other cheek, and they look the other way. They don't say nothing, but he's not going to apologize because that's a sign of weakness in his world. In his world, if he apologizes and says he was wrong, that's a sign of weakness. So we're just going to have to deal with it. We know who he is. You know how he is. Again, I accepted him for who he is, always knew how he is. It's his supporters should be ashamed of themselves now. And I'm pretty sure they have second thoughts now and they realize they've made a crucial mistake.
Well, you could thank Roy Cohn for giving him that advice. Never apologize for anything. Roy Cohn was a high-profile lawyer. He's no longer with us. He died, but he was a high-profile lawyer, and he used to groom. He used to groom the guy. Well, I don't want to mention his name, but I always say the guy with 1,000 nicknames that you guys have given him. You know, colored nicknames. Uh, anyway, he groomed him and always told him, he says, never apologize for anything. And I think his father was the same way. You know, uh, we all know that his father, I can't say for sure, but I could only speculate because why was he arrested at a Ku Klux Klan rally many
Well,
years ago?
listen, it's no secret. His father was a racist. His grandfather was a racist. So I mean, they could. I listen. I get tired of people saying or putting up posters of Donald Trump taking pictures in the '70s with Reverend Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Rosa Parks. Okay, yeah, that's for just show. But you're a racist. You're a true racist. You proved that over and over and over the decades and everything. I mean, look at us on Central Five. They were about to get electrocuted if they wasn't found, innocent. Did he offer apology? No, he cannot apologize. He's not allowed to. It's a sign of weakness. He is who he is. But as Christians, we do, and we ought to pray for him, for our country. This July 4th is coming up 250 years of our independence. It'll be our birthday. It's a celebration, and he's going to be part of it. And he's going to take center stage. You don't want to wish anything bad on him.
He doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about the 4th of July, Independence Day. He doesn't care about that. That means nothing to him. The American flag means nothing to him. That's show. That guy, Pete Hegseth, you see walking around with that handkerchief in his breast pocket of an American flag, which is probably an American flag that he ripped off one of those tiny American flags that he stuffs in his breast pocket. Exploitation.
Yeah.
Exploitation. It's exploitation, and they don't give a damn about this country. They don't.
They don't. I mean, he is what and everything, but I mean, listen. We've been through other situations. We've been through 9/11. This country has pulled through. We will get through this in spite of him. In spite of him, we will get through. And when his time comes to get out, he will get out. But I wish the Republican Party will show some guts and some balls and have a spine. And I wish the Democrats will show some guts as well too, because they are fools too. Both parties, Democrats and Republicans, both fools.
Well, there's only two ways that he's gonna get out. He's gonna either get people vote him out, or if they want him out early, someone may carry him out in a straitjacket, because he's headed that way. You could see it mentally. He's headed that way, and that's one of the reasons why I said I don't believe that he's going to finish this term out. I stick to that. I said that from the beginning. A lot of people say, "Oh no, I don't. I think he's going to do the whole 4 years. If he does the whole 4 years, okay, I'm wrong." but I still stick to that. I don't think he's going to finish out the rest of this term.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I have to confess to something. I have to be very honest about this. I was rooting for Venezuela to beat the United States. I listen, let me get something clear. I'm American. I'm a proud American. Red, white, and blue. Also, red, black, and green. Also, that's me. Red, black, and green, and red, white, and blue. But I was rooting for Venezuela because, yes, they had a dictator that was awful, and he had to go. But the innocent people that did not have to die was killed. That's what bothered me.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to leave it at that. So, listen, Brian, thanks for coming in with us once again on the show, and we'll catch you back here next week on the Coffee Hour. How about that? Have a great weekend. We'll see you then. And for the rest of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, join us back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talkback Live. We'll be here, Brian, with sports. He's my co-host, so he'll be here for the whole show. And then meet us back here next Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Until then, have yourself a great weekend and a great day. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host, Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.